So you and I know AI is accelerating fast. It's changing things, the way that we work, the way that the world will look in the next few years. And I think it's coming for a lot of jobs. Now, I'm not alone in that. Doesn't take a genius to figure that out. The question is how many jobs and how many of us are safe versus how many of us are vulnerable. I am convicted and convinced AI is not coming for my job. And in this video, I want to help you make sure it doesn't come for yours too. There was this article going around on X right now that's going viral called Something Big is Happening. It's written by one of the tech leaders, the kind of people at the forefront, at the coalface of the AI revolution. And there's a ton in there. It's a massive article. But the biggest thing that kind of shocked me was AI is now at the point of improving and building upon itself. What this means is in 2022, when it first became popularized, developers, humans, were on the other side of like making this machine learning better, making it work, troubleshooting, bug fixing, all of that. And in the first few years, you probably remember it would hallucinate, it would make stuff up with massive confidence. This is the right answer, and you'd go, actually, and it would go, oh wait, no, it's not. Now, not only does it very rarely do that, the last few models that have come out from the leaders in the AI industry are actually being built and refined by AI. What this means is the timeline for jobs being displaced in the hundreds of millions is being accelerated fast as AI becomes better and better at being AI. The question is, will it replace people like you and I, people that provide services for others, that give advice, that share mentorship? I think for many it will. But in this video, I just want to break down how to future proof yourself against that because while it is a possibility, I do not think it is an inevitability. But let me share the story real quick. Recently, one of my friends has been having a bit of a viral kind of blowing up moment on his socials. He used to be in the business space and recently kind of came out after a kind of long ranging, searching, feeling lost, getting healing journey. And he's really owned this new space, this new topic. And when he first started creating content, it was so refreshing. There was such a level of humanity. It was irreverent, it was contrarian, it was in your face. It was both entertaining and insightful to read. And a lot of the kind of fame and attention that was being brought to his work was completely unintentional. He didn't expect it. And something really interesting happened. He started obsessing over the numbers deeply. He would send me screenshots of his dashboard of this is what's happening. Oh my gosh, look at all these numbers. And at the same time, I noticed that his writing started to become worse. Like I would look at it and I'd go, I think this is AI written. So much so that today I looked at one of his posts, I put it in an AI checker. It said that it was 100% likely to have been written by AI. As you can imagine, like when you read it now, it lacks the same fire, passion, insight it once had. And through that, I feel much less connected to it. And you can see his numbers are not trending in the right direction. But this is a temptation that many of us have, which is having AI replace us. And we think that by having a bot write for us. Well, if the goal is posting content, if the goal is getting leads through the door, then surely having AI write for us and help us do that faster is going to be a net positive. And some of you are already like, hell no. And others of you, wonder what the challenge might be. The question though becomes, what can AI do that we can't, or what can we do that AI can't? In 24 months and 36 months, when AI is smarter than every person of every industry combined, what edge do you have as a human being when you're trying to outcompete a machine that never sleeps, a machine that never makes mistakes? What would people pay you for then? And the question and the challenge that I've been sitting with is, what do humans really bring to the table? And the thing that I'm convinced of more than anything else is that, and I've got notes in front of me, by the way, if you see me looking down, is that when you consume human content, hopefully you're not just getting information, you're connecting to another mortal being who knows what it's like to be human, who knows what it's like to have a body with an expiration date, who understands the struggles that you're facing in a way that AI never can. And this might seem like a small data point, a small truth. But I think this is the foundation of what us as humans crave when it comes to the solutions we're looking for, the support that we're looking for. The thesis I have is not that AI is not going to be useful, is not that, everyone's going to prefer to only watch human-made movies and only listen to human-made music. I know there's going to be plenty of things that we're going to benefit from with AI creating things in the future. But my thesis is this: humans crave insight and connection more than information. And what we can give as human creators is something that AI can never give. I want you to think about this for a second. AI will never know the feeling of betrayal. It'll never know the feeling and the heartbreak of experiencing a miscarriage or a divorce or disappointment. It'll never know the weight of having to do work you don't want to do to make money that you resent. Living in a world that everything costs something, it'll never know that experience. It'll never know what it's like to have friends, family, clients disappoint you. It'll never know the weight of showing up in front of a video, looking at a blank page going, I need to create something, to post something. I don't know what to post. I don't know what to create. It'll never know the feeling of having a brain that's struggling with overstimulation in this highly busy, chaotic environment. It'll never know the weight. It'll never know the feeling of the frailty of having a nervous system. All of these things are not minor things. Just because AI has consumed all the content and it knows all the stuff theoretically, there is something that you and I will be able to give other humans that AI will never be able to give, which is insight coming from a lived human experience. And that when you give insight, when you give that sense of perspective of this is how I'm navigating the frailty of the human life, this is how I am navigating what it means to be a soul in a body with an expiration date, AI could never. When you own that, when you realize that you bring something to the table that's not even remotely competing with these tools, you create a category of one, you become future proof, and are able to stand on the edge of an unfair advantage that AI will never be able to encroach upon. AI is the king of information. It'll give you tips and tricks to be a better human from a theoretical standpoint. But AI will never be able to connect with humans in the way that other humans can. I think that there are a couple of key points that I'm really thinking through right now of like how to become a future-proof creator. The first thing that you can create, that you can give, that you can share that AI cannot is a worldview, is a perspective, is opinions, beliefs, values, frustrations, a real thesis of what it means to be human. AI can give you an opinion if you prompt it to, but it does not hold an opinion. It does not have a passion. It does not have a feeling of excitement or a feeling of being pissed off. When you lean into seeing your job as first and foremost as like bringing a message, a worldview, a perspective of what makes sense for you as a human being, you will find resonance with other human beings who are going through similar struggles, and you will create something for those humans that AI never could, which is a sense of shared experience. That feeling of, I know what you're going through, that feeling of, I know what it feels like. The second thing, and this is really a huge focus for me this year, is the future proof creator is building a body of work. One of the things that I feel really challenged by myself is when I shut business down last year and it was doing really well, there was a sense of sadness as I looked upon all of the content that I'd created. Definitely towards the end, I was prouder of the content that I'd created than earlier in the journey. But a lot of my ideas were disjointed, and there was a mix of like what I was excited to say and also what I felt like clients and audience wanted me to hear, wanted me to say, needed to hear, wanted to hear. There was a real lack of a body of work, of a cohesive gospel, of a message that I felt like I was excited to bring to the world. And I don't know what prompted this, but last year I thought if I was to die and my two sons, Brooklyn and Eli, were left with dad's content, would it help them, aid them, support them at all in navigating life? Or would it would it only be in the context of like, well, if they were a coach or a consultant trying to get clients, then it might benefit them. But apart from that, like, let's leave, dad's videos up on YouTube or whatever, but we're never going to watch them. The feeling I had was, why haven't I created a body of work? Why haven't I committed to putting these experiences, these beliefs, these opinions out, not in a disjointed way of thousands of little short pieces of content, but in real ways where there's products or courses or books, collections of ideas that all stick together as a synthesis of what I really believe and ultimately of who I really am. Future proof creators are not just sharing thoughts and opinions and ideas or information, they are bringing a body of work to life. The third thing I think future proof creators really have is they have a sense of embodiment. The people that we look up to the most on earth as teachers, as mentors, as guides don't teach a message, they live it. This is an arena that AI cannot compete with. AI will never walk the talk. It has the theory, it cannot have the reality. When someone looks at your life and sees that you have put your entire reality, your identity at stake for what you believe, that you are dying on hills, that you are embodying what you teach, you're not just sharing it online, there is a level of connection and trust and resonance that is created that will have you standing in a category of your own where people will pay you, where people will want to be around you. If you think about the greats, if you think about the Tony Robbins, the Eckhart Tolles, the Sadhgurus, the Joe Dispenzas, they are not going to be outcompeted by ChatGPT because they are the embodiment of what they teach. Their life is the proof that what they believe is actually true. Future proof creators, they're not just interested in coming up with cool ideas, they are living them. And the last thing is connection. The future proof creator prioritizes connection. You know, that feeling of creating something and being able to look through a lens or type words on a screen in such a way that you can say, even without using the words, I know what you're facing. I know what you're feeling. I know what it's like. I know how hard it is. That is a unique zone that no amount of futuristic tools are going to be able to replace. When I think about the deepest friendships in my life, I don't go, you know what I'd rather do than hang out with my closest friends? Talk to ChatGPT for an hour. Because there's a sense of connection and communion that is experienced with other people when you realize that we are all on this journey together. And the future proof creator does not relegate connection as an optional thing. It doesn't go, well, if it connects, whatever. They prioritize it. And when I think about the next decade, I'm not afraid of AI taking my job. If AI can take my job, I'm in the wrong job. I'm doing the wrong work. AI cannot out Dan Bolton, Dan Bolton. When I embody my passions, who I am, when I unapologetically self express, I find a sense of connection with other people who are on that similar journey, struggling with this human experience, just trying to figure out how to get through these challenges. And when they see me going, hey, not perfect, but here's how I'm navigating those exact same challenges you're facing, AI won't replace me. And AI doesn't have to replace you. Being a future proof creator is not trying to outcompete AI for information. It is owning and packaging your insight. It is embodying it. It is creating a body of work. And it is allowing your ideas not just to be in a piece of content, but to be a thread in a worldview and a gospel that your whole life embodies and that shapes every word that comes out of your mouth. I just feel so deeply passionate about this today. And rather than be like pessimistic and doom a mindset, I'm excited, like genuinely excited, because I think AI is going to make a lot of our lives better. But I think it's a choice. Are you going to try and be a better source of information than a tool that can replicate every smart human on the planet? Or are you just going to own your insight, own the human experience, and lead with a sense of authenticity. Choice is ours. I'm excited. Future is bright. Sending you love.